Alright, this is Programming Concepts with JavaScript Part 1. This is the plan for what we're going to talk about. Statements, variables, what is a program, syntax errors, using console.log, and using Node to run JavaScript programs. As we go, we will fill in information in our study guide here. This is not full explanations, it's just enough to get you by. Okay, everything under here is programming concepts that's shared in most programming languages. Okay, so a program, text file with proper instructions that a computer can follow. Okay, so that's what we'll be looking at, is programs. When we say a program, that's what we mean, JavaScript instructions that are correct. Okay, here we have statements, or some piece of a program that does something. Let's go ahead and start looking at some examples. So we have a directory here under the class in JavaScript Basic. So I'll look at, we'll just look at a first example. So I'll say var x equals 5, x equals x plus, say 7, console.log x. Okay, so we already see a few things here. We have a variable called x, and over here I say that a variable holds data. You can save it. That's putting information into the variable, and then we can use it. So here I have saved, the way this is written is save the value 5 into the variable x. So that's somewhere in memory called x. And now I get value of x, add 7 to it, save the result back into x. And then here we get value of x, print to the screen. Okay, so I can run this. There's a program called Node that can run JavaScript programs, and it just prints the value 12. Okay. Node is a program that can run JavaScript code. JavaScript code also runs in the browser when part of a page, a web page. Okay, so I'm going to start with these basic videos just with a standalone JavaScript program that runs on its own, that's not part of a web page, just to get basic programming concepts working, and then we'll start doing it inside of a web page. Okay, so we have a variable, and we have statements in JavaScript. All statements end in a semicolon. Semicolon is a special thing. If I take out my semicolons, we can see what happens. It is okay. All right. So I was able to handle that. Pause. Okay, so according to W3 schools, you can have code without semicolons, but beware, things may not necessarily work the way you expect them to. The JavaScript would have to be guessing a little bit more about what you want to do. And in other languages like C and Java, they use semicolons, so we're going to use them in our code as well. Okay, a note on your reading assignment. The information we're going over in these first set of videos is the JavaScript tutorial on W3 schools up through functions. So this is basic programming concepts that's true, basically similar in most programming languages, and we'll be looking at how we do it in JavaScript. Alright, so this is something. Let's make a new file. Why don't we call the new one variables? Okay, so I'll have another variable, say var y equals 7, and then x equals x, let's see, I'll say var z equals x plus y. So now if I print x, y, and z, I should see 5, 7, and 12. So there's 3 different variables there. 5, 7, and 12. And if I want to print a little bit more information, I can type like this. So anything that is inside of quotes is text, called a string in programming, so that's just printed as text. It's not going to try and say that it's looking at the variable x right here. It's just going to print literally x. Whereas outside of quotes, it's looking for that to be a variable name. Okay, so if we print this again, if we run this again, there we have that. And if we tried to print before we declared it, and say what should happen, either it'll be an error or it'll print some sort of unknown. Okay, so it says undefined. Now what if I tried to do W? There's nothing called W in this entire program. Either it'll be an error or it'll be undefined. Okay, so there's an error, and this error message in the end says reference error W is not defined. And there's a trace here of all the different stuff that was going on when it was trying to run the program. The last one here, the topmost, is variables.js, line 1, column 83. Well, there's line 1. Okay, there was the W. So if you have a variable that doesn't even exist in the file, it gives you an error. If you have a variable that's not defined yet, it says undefined. And we'll have a list of, let's see, syntax errors. Syntax errors. So common syntax errors. One is an incorrect unknown variable name. Okay, and that's one that we've seen. Another one is, let's say we get rid of this equal and see what happens. This one says unexpected number. So it was going through var x and it doesn't know what to do with that 5. So if I want to declare x as a variable and save a value, I have to have the equal there. Just an equal in assignment. Let's see what other syntax errors we can come up with here. What if we have this? Then we have a variable z. We're setting it to the value x and y, but we haven't said what to do with x and y. There's unexpected identifier again. Okay, so that would be missing equal in assignment or operator in expression. So here I have expression as a key, is a vocabulary word that means some value. So this is an expression here that the computer can figure out what the value is. Note, x plus y is an expression. Var z equals x plus y is a statement. Okay, so a statement is an action. Something happens, we save the value into z. An expression is just something that we figure out what the value is. So here, this is an expression that the computer can figure out what this would be, and then console.log, this whole thing is a statement. Something happens. Okay. Let's see how we are on our list. Statements, variables, a program. So this whole thing is a program. It's a sequence of statements that the computer can run. Syntax errors, we've started looking at those, and we'll see console.log. So we have console.log, and then you have a left parenthesis and a right parenthesis. That's just the way it goes, and we can talk more about that with functions. Anything inside of here is what will get printed using Node. So let's see what other syntax errors we can get. What if we did not put the parenthesis here? So this says the error is unexpected string. It doesn't say that I need to have parenthesis because it doesn't actually know what I'm trying to do. It just says that there is a problem. That's going to be true in any programming language. The error messages will often be, I have a problem. It's not going to tell you what you're supposed to do. Okay, other syntax errors that we could come up with here. What if we had a capital L here? So this is console.capital L log is not a function. So this has to be capitalized correctly. Let's go to our list of syntax errors. Syntax errors, incorrect, unknown, variable name, or function, including capitalization. Incorrect, unknown, misspelled, miscapitalized. All right. We had missing parenthesis in function call. That's what is happening there. What else can we mess up? Let's say that we wanted to print, but we forgot to put the quotes. It's just going to say something, so missing right parenthesis. So if this was going to be Z, then it's saying that I could put a right parenthesis there. That's not actually what I wanted. It's just that there is a problem. So this would be missing for string. So double quotes or single quotes, either way we can do. So if I put single quotes here, it'll still work. They have to be matched up. Either I'm using both single quotes or both double quotes. Okay, I think that's enough for the absolute basics. We have a program. Okay, so we have a program that's made up of statements, variables, keep data. We can save into variables with the equal. We can get values out of variables by having expressions. So statements, we also talked about expressions. A program is a text file with instructions. Syntax errors means the program won't run at all. Console.log prints, and we're using Node. All right. And at the moment we have these two files. And we'll go into more details on all the different things in the next videos. Oh, one last thing. We should give you a quiz question answer. Okay, so for this video, the question will be a really bad password is, and the correct answer will be Go Sycamores, capitalized like that. That would be a bad password. So that'll be your quiz answer.